Hello and welcome to Talk from Superheroes. Hey everybody, I'm Andrew Ivan.
And I'm Diana McCullum.
And you're listening to Talk from Superheroes, where every week we discuss a piece of heroic television or film. And this week on the podcast, we're talking about Season 2 of Fallout.
We're talking about the entirety of Season 2, which is over. It's the second one. We covered the first one last year, so we've done all of Fallout, just if you're wondering. If you're like, did they do it before?
Huh.
We did do it before.
In case you needed to know.
You know what? It's the kind of thing I would think if I was listening to this podcast. I'm like, oh, did they do one?
Well, and now you know.
Now they've been filled in.
And now you've been filled in. We did one. We're doing Season 2 today on the podcast. We're going to be talking about the full season, as Diana just mentioned. We're talking about it. It only just finished a little while ago. It's a new series. It finished last week. So whenever we talk about a new TV show or movie, we're going to give you a spoiler-free review in case you're on the fence about watching it, not sure if it's worth your time or whatever your reason might be. And then once you hear the theme music, we'll enter the spoiler-filled section. Let's start with the usual spoiler-free review. Simple question. Diana, did you like it?
I didn't really like it very much, and I'm very torn on describing this show. Because normally if I didn't like something, I can pretty quantifiably say like, oh, this was like bad in a lot of ways, and it's bad. I really can't tell with Fallout Season 2 if it's bad or if I just didn't like it. If it just wasn't for me.
Oh, like just not for Diana.
Yeah. I didn't like hate it. It's a very like low, not like. It could even be a like some episodes. Like I did enjoy certain things about it because it kind of feels like it gaslights me into being like, we're a really good show. And I'm like, oh, you do give all the impression, like quality wise, it's incredible. Like design, production quality, like money put into it, acting. It's like every box I tick off is I'm like, yeah, they are good at that. And I just don't really enjoy it. I think there's a problem in tone. I think it can't decide if it's a comedy or serious. I think it wants to be a comedy, but it's actually wildly serious a lot of the time. But it's in this silly world, and it doesn't quite work for me in a weird tone way. And then it's just like got a lot of storylines this season. A lot is happening, and I really don't care about anything that happened before the bombs dropped because bombs dropped. So every time there's a flashback, I'm like, I don't care. Bombs dropped. So yeah, it's just got a lot of like structural problems in its foundation for me that I don't feel like were there in season 1. I remember liking season 1 a lot more than this. So yeah, I didn't quite enjoy it, but it's like it does a lot of things really well. So I understand if other people like it. It's one of those weird ones where I'm like, this isn't categorically bad, but I just really didn't enjoy it all that much. Andrew, did you like it?
I liked it. I liked it a lot more than you. Mm-hmm. I am trying to be impartial though, because I will say that for most of it, I really liked this. I liked it a lot more than season 1, I'm going to say.
Different.
But I was quite soured. I did not enjoy the finale. The finale felt like a real fizzle. Mm-hmm. And, recency bias, that is the most recent episode in my mind and in my heart. So I left that episode kind of feeling like, I don't really like this. But I am trying to kind of take a step back away from that and be like, no, for 7 episodes, I damn near loved this. And I do really think it was a lot better than season 1. So I think that this is a huge step up from season 1. I think it's cleaner storytelling. Its themes are clearer. I find everything, with the exception of one storyline that needs to be flushed down the toilet, I find everything much more interesting. The performances are better. The character pairings are stronger as well. Like, everyone feels like they're in the correct storyline. Whereas, like, season 1, everyone kind of felt like a little bit like they were in the wrong storyline for who they were and what they were doing. This feels like everyone's really meshed. Like, they're writing for the actor's performance style. They're writing for the relationships that works. They're writing for like the dynamics and the world building that works. I think that it's a big step up in most regards. And I think that as it winds, not just the finale, but maybe even like a bit episode 7 and 8, it focuses less on finishing this season's story and more on setting up stuff for other seasons. And as it kind of fizzled out from a show that I think was a lot better than season 1 into a trailer for future seasons or spinoffs, that's when I really kind of soured on this. So right now, like, I'm in this weird in between where I'm trying to take a step back. I think I liked it, and I think I liked it more than season 1, but I grew a distaste towards the end of this season.
I love your self-awareness and your fairness and your apparency of recency bias, but I will also completely agree with you. The last 2 episodes don't tie up their storylines. They absolutely do just set up another season. They've already been greenlit. I think they've already started filming. They knew they already had a season 3. And I do think there was definitely a focus on like, let's make sure people want season 3 instead of let's make season 2 satisfying.
Yeah.
So I completely agree with the fizzle. And then I just find that really weird and like interesting that, I'm like, I really like season 1 more. And this season just felt like a little boring to me. And I was like, I think I will also mention, even though this doesn't seem like it affected your like or dislike, Andrew's played the games and I haven't. Mm-hmm. So I don't know anything about Fallout.
Right.
But I thought the world was much more fun in season 1 and like more outlandish. And now I think maybe in season 2 we're just like living in it. And I'm like, oh, it's not really like shocking me anymore.
Right.
There's no like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
moments for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I think that's really fair what you said about like, there's definitely like things I liked and episodes I liked and performances and some storylines. But yeah, there's too much here for me.
I get that. And we'll get into it probably in the spoiler-filled section, but I will say as well for our listeners, I've played all of the games. I've never replayed the games, so I'm not encyclopedic or precious about the lore of these, which I know some fans can be, so I'll kind of set that groundwork where it's just like, I'm not like, oh, why didn't they introduce my favorite character in the room that they're always in it's like, in the year 2003, it's like in the early 2000s, I played some of these games, not even to completion.
Wait, has there not been a Fallout game in like years and years? Or?
No, there's been some. I mean, we don't need to talk about Fallout 76, but that's a different thing.
I don't know what that is.
It's a whole.
Okay.
It's a whole
we won't
thing.
Talk about it.
But yeah, I've played them. I'm familiar with them. I have a soft knowledge of the factions and the places, but I'm not encyclopedic or precious. I wouldn't put it in my like top 10 franchises that it's like, oh.
Good to know. That helps.
Yeah, it's just been around.
All right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And can it be spoiled?
It couldn't really be spoiled for me. Maybe if you're a game fan, it could have been. I didn't know what was going to happen, but if you told me, it wouldn't have mattered.
I can feel similar to that. I would give it a soft spoil where like I do think game or not, there's a couple of moments where I was like, oh neat. Huh.
Oh, love an neat.
Oh, I didn't expect a different person to be in this room and that kind of a thing. But soft, like nothing where I'm like it really affects nothing that heavily affects the emotional journey, but some neat little pleasantries. So I'd give it a soft can be spoiled.
Excellent.
Yeah. All right. Well, it can't be spoiled to soft can, and we have some conflicting feelings about like to dislike. Huh. Yeah. All right.
Let's get into it.
We're playing around the mid zone. Let's get into the spoiler-filled section. Let's talk all about Fallout Season 2.
Let's get to an end zone.
All right, we have seen Fallout Season 2. We've got some different takes on it. To give a quick summary for those of you who didn't watch it, I'll kind of presume that you have a general knowledge of at least the universe or Season 1. If not, it's a post-apocalyptic world where atomic bombs dropped and there's some survivors coming out of vaults under the ground. That is the shortest possible explanation. In this season, we see our main trio, which is Lucy, who is still trying to track down her father who escaped at the end of last season. Maximus, who's part of the Brotherhood of Steel, these armor-clad wearing technology collecting people. And he's trying to figure out what's going on with the Brotherhood with a potential infinite energy source and their own infighting. And the ghoul, played by Walton Goggins, this kind of rotting zombie character, is still looking for his potentially frozen wife and daughter in some kind of a vault. They believe that it is in New Vegas, so all roads lead to into what was once Las Vegas and is now New Vegas. That's where Lucy's dad is. That's where the vault is. That's where Maximus ends up, just kind of coincidentally. But that is where all roads lead. And then alongside a flashback story, which is all about Robert House, who is the guy who owns most of Vegas, who is preparing for the upcoming nuclear events. And we're getting flashbacks as to the counter-revolution that Walton Goggins, pre the Ghoul, is trying to prevent this type of a war. And that's the journey of this season. And we're going through it, and it didn't connect for you as much as season 1. Tell me about that.
It didn't connect for me, and it seemed like it would off the top. I was really like, I liked what was happening, like, when we got there. I was like, oh, I like that Lucy and the Ghoul are together, because they were, like, the Ghoul was kind of off on his own a lot in season 1, even though he was so cool and he was so good. It's always nice when main characters are together. And I'm like, I like Maximus, but, like, he got Lucy most of last season. So Ghoul and Lucy together, I was like, oh, this is going to be fun. Kumail shows up immediately. I'm like, oh, this is going to be fun. But then just, like, everything always felt like we were doing side quests all season. And I never got a vibe of, like, what are any of us going for other than the Ghoul's looking for his family? Like, I don't know what Maximus is trying to do. I know what Lucy wants to find her dad, but to what end I haven't really, like, connected to. So just, like, I don't care about any consequences in this world. Like, it's already an apocalypse. Like, I don't care if, like, people in New Vegas die. I'm like, most of the world is gone. So I feel like this season was just a lot more serious, and I needed this season to be comedic because I don't care about this world because it's post-apocalyptic. So I'm like, I think it should just be more fun. And I didn't laugh once the whole season. Like, my eyes went wide a few times. But, like, season 1, I laughed a bunch. Like, there was, like, the Cyclops eye guy that got Lucy's finger back on. And, like, there was just these bigger over-the-top things that happened. And this season, it felt like bigger over-the-top things happened. And I don't know if they just weren't filmed right or acted right, but they weren't funny. And so, yeah, I just was like, it was a bit of a slog for me. Yeah, I'm sorry, that was too many things that didn't work.
No, that's fine.
All together.
That's fine. I'm with it.
But at the same time, I can see liking it. Like, it's a really well-made show. It's got a lived-in world. I do like these characters. Like, I think, like, oh my God, Walton Goggins as the Ghoul is so good.
Yeah.
Like, he's so good. I also really like Stephanie in the Vault, the badass Canadian. We'll talk about her later.
Yeah.
I think she's my second favorite. So, like, there's stuff, like, really in its way interesting. So I'm like, it's a slog, but it's not. It's a really weird show for me.
Yeah, you made some great points there, and ones that I didn't even really appreciate while watching this season. I agree, it's definitely less funny than season 1. Season 1 did have laugh out loud moments. This season, even though I generally enjoyed it more than yourself, I would say gave me smirks. So there's some stuff like that initial, I think it was episode 1, that kind of like very gore splatterfest video game, like that gang at the pool when the Ghoul has been captured, and she's like, "This was your chance. I'm sorry." Like, it's apologetic, and they're playing as the games play, and as the first season played out, that contrast between naivete with horrors, and there's a level of tonal humor to that. But the humor, it never quite gets a full laugh in this. I agree. It got some smiles and smirks from me where I'm like, oh, clever. But I'm not like, ha ha ha. It's just, clever. Despite the fact that one of my favorite things about this show is the fact that, like, clearly the casting director and the people who work on this show are just comedy perverts in the best way, where I'm like, you're casting Kumail, you're casting John Daly, Zach Cherry, Fred Armisen, Johnny Pemberton. Like, you are getting the A-team of non-household name comedians, and I adore that about you.
And that's why it's so disappointing to me that it's not funny. And it's not like jokes are not landing. It's a lot of things that I think are hypothetically funny on paper that they just didn't film in a very funny way. Like, one thing that I think should have been laugh out loud funny was when Lucy got addicted to drugs, and then there's like a shot you can take that clears the drugs out of your system, and she just started puking like crazy. And that should have been really funny. Like even though puke's not necessarily funny, but there's a way that it just can just like come, like it just comes upon her because she doesn't know what the drugs are going to do, the clear you out drugs.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this was a real moment that could have been like shockingly funny. And it was just kind of like another scene.
Even her being addicted to the drugs that make you super strong
was only smirk funny.
It was only smirk funny. I do agree with this.
Even though she was like doing fun stuff with it. Like she was trying her best to be like, can we get more drugs? And she's scratching and she's doing a pretty big performance about it.
Yeah.
She didn't undersell it, but it just was never funny. Johnny Pemberton just suddenly losing an arm feels like it should have been hilarious.
Yeah.
And it just didn't land.
It didn't quite land. Pemberton, with the kids, he's doing so much.
He's doing so much. Kumail's one episode, he was given everything he had.
Dripping with all of the funniest, coolest swag for, a character who ends up being a terrible person, but still he is being played by Kumail, who is just dripping swag here.
So yeah, the comedy aspect, I think, is what brought it down, because I liked the comedy of season 1, and this season was much more serious.
I think a good example of that is John Daly's character as the snake oil salesman, who was incredibly funny in season 1. And in this one, after a little bit, he gets brainwashed, so he's kind of meant to be a husk. But the husk isn't funny, and him even before isn't as funny. So there's something, I think he's a really good example.
I was actually going to say, so he's the guy who the first successful brainwashing. That's John Daly?
Yes.
Okay, I was actually going to say his intro is my perfect tone of this show. I actually think, like, when he gets reintroduced, because he comes back, because he's from season 1, but he doesn't come back to, like, episode 5 or something, because it shows him just getting his life together. He's like, I'm going to do it. And then there's a fun song as he, like, treks through the desert. And then there's a hard cut of him being attacked by a cockroach. That is the only time I laughed all season.
Yeah.
And then it hard cuts to him just walking to Vegas again, having killed the cockroach off screen, presumably.
But his, clothes are a bit more torn up and stuff.
Yeah, it's exactly the tone I wanted for this whole season, and it only exists in that one microcosm of a quick montage of how he got to Vegas. And I think he nailed it, and I think that editing and that direction nailed it, and it was a tone I wanted the whole rest of the season. Yeah, a quick cut to just like the horrors of like, and then like, no, life's not too bad. Back to Vegas again.
Yeah.
That was perfect to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, I get that.
But then he's a husk and he's not funny anymore.
And he's not funny anymore. Yeah. So I agree. A bit of humor there, but not quite as funny as season 1. So yeah, not as humorous as season 1. Now, what I do like though, one area where I actually think that this shines way better than season 1 does, is what they do with Lucy and Max as parallel stories. Season 1, they didn't quite hit the writing of these characters, especially Max. I didn't know what Max really wanted, or, how he felt, or what his dreams were. Did he trust people? Did he believe in this cause? And not in a cool, mysterious way, just in a, like, they were more interested in the cool visuals around him than they were about how he felt about anything. So I didn't really get the Max and Lucy parallel. This season, I really get the parallel. I get why these two characters are drawn to one another. They're so much more compatible, where I'm like, oh, both of you are kind of like naive idiots. And in the factionalism that is this world of like breaking into warring factions in so many regards, whether that's an intellectual war, a shadow government, a science society, an armor-clad thing, mutants, whatever it might be, you're both kind of naive people who believe whoever the most confident person in the room is. And they really let you feel that throughout this season, with Lucy being like how she treats or responds to the leadership of the Gould, how she treats and responds to the manipulation of her father, with Max being like how he treats and responds to the Elder and that cause, and then a cooler character and more confident person like Kumail shows up, and how quickly he adapts into that, into legitimately believing that this is what he wants. And it really shows the parallel between the two of them of good people who are too naive to function without being manipulated by the factionality of the world. And I'm like, oh, this is so much stronger writing in terms of the problems of the world that it's trying to present thematically, and why these two characters get along and should be together. Whereas season 1, it felt more like a boy who had never seen a girl. And in this one, I'm like, oh no, it's actually two people who I'm like, I'm even though you don't have a scene till the end, I'm like, you two belong together. You two need each other so much. And I bought it. I bought it so much more this season.
I can get behind that, actually, genuinely. Like, yeah, like some of this show absolutely works. Because, yeah, season 1, Max did kind of feel like he just kind of imprinted on Lucy. But imprinted in a way that I actually thought was slightly endearing. He imprinted on her not because she was a pretty girl, but that because she was a good person. And then all of this season, he's like, there's good people out there. There's Lucy. And I do like this parallel story, as you're saying. Like, they are both, their arc is that they're both very manipulatable, malleable, or like open to be manipulated. But then they both go off on their own. Like, she knocks the ghoul out the window. She defies her father and ties him to the oven and destroys the mainframe. And then he makes the Brotherhood of Steel go to war and steals the thing that makes a lot of energy. Like, they both stand up for themselves finally, but they're both still looking for good people and still believe in good people. Yeah. But they are just getting slightly more jaded. So they really are the exact same in a lot of ways. And they've been raised in these cults that tried to like break them and make them strong, but they kind of just made them strong and they're fixing themselves. So yeah, you're absolutely right that it's crazy that they have one scene together, but they do feel like best friends.
Yeah, way more this season than they did last season. Last season for me, I was like, I don't get it. I'm not rooting for these two to get together. And this season, it's like, I just think thematically the writers get it way more. And also they're just writing to the strengths of these actors way more as well. Max works way more as a character this season than he did last season. Like Max and Aaron Moten, like as Max, is doing a really good job. And I think they're playing into him a lot better.
I think they found more for him to do. They also made me like him a lot more. They very smartly did a full flashback. And this was my favorite sequence probably in the whole season for drama, about the bombing of Shady Sands, where he's from. This whole flashback wrecked me. Like, he's got these wonderful, loving parents. They've actually built a new city that's functioning. It's a community. It's what the world should be like. We're all helping each other. We're all kind. And then, like, they have 5 minutes to be bombed, and his parents shove him in that fridge and, like, tell him not to come out and to eat his food slowly and that they love him. Like, I had tears in my eyes. This really built a lot more, because, like, they had showed that he survived Shady Sands being bombed, but, like, not, like, what it was like. Mm-hmm. Like, I thought it sucked. I thought it was like, oh, another city that sucked. And they just bombed it, like New Vegas or something, just full of garbage people. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize it was a city that ruled.
Yeah, so they're farming, they're doing well, they're taking care of each other. They have community.
They have community. So, like, seeing his backstory also made the character so much more likable, and you root for him so much more. Yeah. And it was very well told.
Yeah.
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 So that whole flashback really, yes.
Strong. Yeah, Fallout Boy, thumbs up.
I'll give it that one. You'll give the flashback. Yeah, for sure.
You'll give it the old Walton Goggins thumbs up seal of approval on that one. Yeah, I agree. The Shady Sands backstory works. Just these main characters work way stronger, which leads me to one thing that I do want to dunk on, and this is probably before the fizzle of towards the end of the season, immediately a thing where I'm like, I don't understand this, even when it's technically good. I do not know why there are still scenes at the original Vault. I don't know why this storyline exists. The Vault 30, 31, 32. I legitimately cannot wrap my mind around why my time's being wasted showing me any of this. And similar, like, I'm like, it's technically very well done. It looks great. The music is right. The vibes are right. Everyone's giving a strong performance. There's some good actors here. But I'm like, this is a setting from Lucy's past, and she's gone. Like, none of this matters I don't care about this experiment. None of these people have three-dimensional characters. They're just like, I'm the dumb one. I'm the mean one. I don't know why I'm watching it.
This is so interesting because I only care about the Vault people.
What?
I only care about the Vault people because it's the only remnant of community and civilization that's left to me. Everyone else they meet are just these warring factions on the surface that are assholes, or they're just like a couple people at a time. I'm like, civilization and community still exists in the Vaults. We have to protect them. We have to keep them safe. And it's not great storytelling. It goes on too long. There's too much happening. But I do feel very invested in the Vaults surviving. It's full of good people who are naive like Lucy, but like they're not like entitled naive. They think they actually can't leave. They're not like, "Ooh, no, we can't go up there." They're like, "This is just our lives and we're having a nice time." And I feel so much for them, and I'm actually quite invested in the vaults.
This is very interesting.
This is very interesting to me. I did not think that was going to be your complaint at all.
Huh. Yeah, like I want to fast forward. I want to fast forward or leave the room when these scenes are on.
Oh, I want to fast forward every flashback about how the bombs got dropped. I don't
See,
care.
I love the flashbacks.
I mean, I love Walton Goggins. He's selling performance-wise.
And Justin Theroux as well.
And Justin Theroux is very good. But just like storyline-wise, I'm like, they're like, oh no, we have to figure out who's going to drop the bombs. I'm like, they dropped them. I don't care. I know they get dropped. I do not care who did it. It's not going to affect anything in the future for me.
Yeah.
Who dropped these bombs? I care about these people who are alive in these vaults.
Yeah.
In this community. So, but I totally get that. I totally get not caring about them because sometimes I don't care. This whole snack club thing, what the fuck was that? That didn't go anywhere. I thought there was going to be like a revolution in the vault.
To be like, we don't have enough food, we're all rioting.
Yeah, they're all going to go to war, like 31 and 32 are going to fight each other or something, like the way that like the Legion is fighting each other over who's going to be the leader. I thought there was going to be parallels there of what was happening.
Yep.
And instead, like it doesn't even matter what's going on in whichever one's out of water, and then the other one is turning on Stephanie, the leader. I'm like, these are not connected, and they didn't go anywhere. But throughout the season, it is all I cared about.
And like Zach Cherry's character Woody is like beginning to question the system, and is kind of killed off screen. And they're just like, yeah, whatever. Like, but I'm like, he was the closest to a fully fledged character that we had, and now our POV character is Stephanie's husband, who like other than somewhat frustrated sad sack, I'm like, I actually don't know. I understand what you're saying. Like big picture, it's interesting. The sense of like it's community, it's naivete, but it's also looking out for one another. It has both the problems and the benefits of what an actual group and community of people have. But I'm looking for the POV character, and I'm like, who is it? Like the poster of this show is Lucy, Max, the Ghoul, and who from the vaults?
Fair enough.
Is this Stephanie's story? Because we get her backstory, which is interesting, and she's cool and a great actor. But I'm like, is this her story? Is it the husband whose portrayal is just kind of general sad sack? But I don't really know what his depth is.
Because
is it Woody who disappears? Like, who's the character?
Well, in season 1, it was her brother Norm, because he was still there.
Yes.
In season 1, Norm was the Vault POV character.
Yeah.
But Norm is now also upstairs with management Vault people. Mm-hmm. So he's also been removed and doing storylines that don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So like I think you're right. They did remove their Vault POV, who I do think was Norm, and gave him a storyline that didn't go anywhere. Maybe we didn't need because he didn't learn very much. I think you could have learned that on any computer that there's a virus. Yes. He could have learned it on a Vault computer. We didn't need to do any of this unfreezing management and having them conveniently get killed by cockroaches in a real quick kill-off scene. Mm-hmm. So I think moving Norm maybe was a problem, but I agree there's no POV, but I do still like these characters. I like Chet being naive, but slowly like trying to like stand up to Stephanie, who's so aggressive and strong. I even like Betty, the girl who's like doesn't care about the experiment anymore and is genuinely trying to lead the vault. I'm like, I feel like I'm Betty when I watch this. I'm like, I care about the vault people and not the experiments or the bombs or what management wants. I want water.
Yeah.
I want them to have water. So I feel like them. But I'm having fun. But there's too much happening and it's not connected to anything of the three mains.
Yeah.
But it's all I care about at the same time.
That's very interesting. I can respect that.
I can respect what you're saying because, it doesn't make sense that I care about it.
Yeah, right.
Because the show doesn't want me to.
Because the show is about three leads. Like, we agree on that. The show is about
three leads.
You look at the poster, it is about three leads. Three lead characters that exist who are dealing with three storylines. And I'm like, to kind of spend a lot of screen time, even if it is interesting, going into what's happening at the home of a character who's left it. Be like, I don't think we're ever coming back here. This is not what the story's about.
Is Stephanie becoming a main? I mean, she gets a flashback. And that's main character energy.
And we find out, spoiler, that she is the wife of Lucy's dad. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, I guess maybe she's the main of next season. But that does lead me again into the like, okay, you're teasing next season more than you're giving me anything right now. But yeah, we have different opinions there on the vault. I find it very similar to like Dane, Max's friend on at the Brotherhood, the one that would like they were both scribes or whatever the lowest rank is called. Squires. They're both squires together. Dane's friend, I think, is also an interesting, like kind of well-rounded three-dimensional character. But we don't spend any time with them and the Brotherhood. It's not like, oh, okay, what happens now when more Commonwealth representatives show up in this room? That is on premise just as interesting, but it's also just as unimportant to the story of our three mains. So that's where I kind of compare the two to be like, well, if we're wasting time with, why aren't we wasting time with the Brotherhood? Why aren't we wasting more time with whichever Culkin this is? Like, why aren't we just like
whichever Culkin?
Like, sure,
it's clearly Macaulay.
It's all interesting. It's all interesting. So why not fucking go anywhere?
Yeah. I guess it all depends on what you latch onto. Maybe there are people who are like, why aren't we with the Brotherhood of Steel more after Max leaves?
Sure. Yeah.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
And maybe there's something for everybody in this show. But then again, I also am like just still a mild like to a mild dislike on it. So I think your opinion's probably more valid.
No, there's no such thing as a more valid opinion.
Like if someone to make a show that's likable.
Oh, okay.
To make a show that's more enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's not like I liked it the same as you and I like different things. I liked it less than you.
Well, it's so interesting, though, that you describe it as there's something for everything, because it also means that the inverse is true. There's something that everyone absolutely hates in this. And that's something I find very fascinating about the reviews and I would say like general fan response to this series is that it's so all over the place what fans just will legitimately hate or fully latch onto. It feels similar to the factionalization of the world. Where, like, what you say a minute ago, where it's like there's someone who's like, why isn't there more Brotherhood of Steel? That's my favorite thing from the video game. It should just be all Brotherhood of Steel all the time. They're the cool ones. And it feels like there is that for everything that this universe has to present, but also reflected in the reviews, journalism, and fan response to this show as well, which I find quite interesting.
Yeah, I do. The response to this is very interesting because I was reading a couple of reviews going in, I think just because of my lack of game knowledge. And the few reviews I read were like kind of similar to how I feel, which is like, it's not a great season of television if you don't play the games. And if you play the games, it's really great. And I was like, is that the vibe? Okay, I mean, I don't know if you play the games, it's great, but I only thought it was mid.
and like, I'm with you where I'm mid to slightly more like than you, and I played the games, but also, you don't
have a favorite faction.
I don't have a favorite faction. I was gonna say also we are, despite our like fart joke goof around energy, the lightest and silliest version of film criticism and television criticism, right? Where it's like I think we're both of the strong opinion that Easter eggs aren't plot.
Easter eggs
are not plot. Easter eggs are not theme. But those are things that a lot of super fans of stuff mistake for plot and theme. To be like, they said the thing that is the thing from the thing that I like, which is the same as it being good.
The ghoul got kidnapped by a mutant that was voiced by, I forget.
Ron Perlman.
By Ron Perlman.
He's the one who says war never changes in the video games.
And it doesn't matter to me that scene was cuttable as hell.
Cuttable as hell, or a setup for future seasons.
Yes,
I agree. Yeah, so there's some stuff where it's just like, that's Easter eggs. That's not plot. So I don't know. If you're a fan of the game,
it's like
you might
how
like
references aren't jokes.
Yes.
Easter eggs aren't plot. It's very similar energies.
Yeah, references aren't jokes. Easter eggs aren't plot. And, very, like, the hardcore fans of this game series have some interesting perspectives on this season and some hard opinions. I saw some people who are furious about the fact that they used New Vegas as the location for this. Because they're like, New Vegas is from Fallout New Vegas is the video game that it's in the title, Fallout New Vegas. But they're like, that's not Bethesda. That was Obsidian, which is a different group of creatives. They shouldn't have access to that. That's our favorite. That's like usually the fan favorite, and it's precious. And they're like, but that was developed by Obsidian and only published by Bethesda. And this is Bethesda Game Studios, a subdivision of Microsoft Xbox Live Game Studios in partnership with Amazon Prime. So they shouldn't be allowed to. And like, there's too much stuff like that where I'm like, you gotta you can't be precious about that kind of thing. You got to let it go.
That's totally fair. Now, speaking of like, I love your recency bias thing because it kind of explains maybe some comments I saw because I was reading like the Facebook comments and some of the reviews I was reading. And so many of the comments were like, it's so good. The big mech's coming. I forget what it's called.
Yeah. It is Prime. It is Liberty Prime.
Liberty Prime. Wow, Amazon Prime and it's Liberty Prime. They're going to love that.
Amazon's going to be real happy about that.
That's the only reason I remember the word Prime.
Okay.
They're going to be all over that marketing.
They'll be all over.
But yeah, that's the end credit scene of 8 episodes of television, and like half the comments on the article were like, Liberty Prime's coming, yeah! And I'm like, did you watch 8 hours of television or not? Do you have any other thoughts on the 8 hours of television?
Or did you just like that it said a thing that was an ad for next season?
At the very end.
Yeah.
So weird.
Yeah, Easter eggs aren't plot.
Easter eggs aren't plot.
No.
A quick thing that you actually said while we watched it, and I'm going to give you credit for, but I'm going to bring it up because it was so funny, is you made a very great point about Zach Cherry's recent acting career of he is always a man stuck underground in hallways.
You put this man in a gray hallway underground or a white hallway underground.
You give this man no knowledge of the outside world and stick him in a hallway he can't leave, and he's going to flourish.
Yeah. This is where this man thrives. Zach Cherry must live in a basement apartment. Like this man.
Or he did for a long time until he got severance. This man. He better not still live in a basement apartment.
He knows how to play a man who hasn't seen the sun. Yeah.
Oh, man. Doesn't sound like a compliment, but I guess.
It doesn't, but he got it.
There's roles. Whatever gets you work.
Whatever gets work.
And that is just 2 very specific things to get typecast for. Of like, in the same year, I played man stuck in underground hallways.
Man in the underground hallway. To perfection. Yeah.
He's very good.
Yeah, I got to push the button in an underground hallway.
Who do you call?
Yeah.
Zach Cherry.
I don't know who these computers contact. I'm Zach Cherry.
I'm Zach Cherry. I don't know who's running any of this. I'm Zach Cherry.
All right, Zach. So for this scene, you're going to be in a hallway not knowing what's going on?
I'm Zach Cherry.
Yeah.
Cut the check.
Cut the check.
Cut the check.
Cut the check.
Hey, this man.
Send the check right to his agent, and he's set.
I got to write a thing about a man who has to hit a button in a hallway and doesn't know what's happening.
That's how you summon Zach Cherry in any given scenario.
Like Beetlejuice.
Interior, hallway, gray, underground, no natural light comes in. Zach Cherry's like, oh, you're working on a screenplay over here?
You got a button?
Oh.
Boing.
Write me in there.
You're already there. The computer just did it.
No, here we are.
AI's figured it out.
That's beautiful.
I don't use AI to write things.
No. But yeah. Zach Cherry, he's under there. He's in there. I will say one thing that to give the show credit for that to get back on positives after going on a tangent, but it looks great. It looks great. Season 1 looked great. This still looks great.
It looks phenomenal, which is I think what I meant about like gaslighting me into thinking it's a better show because everything looks so good. It's a fully fleshed out world that has its own very distinct look, both in current and flashback, even though it's the same world that's just been decimated. But like there is a whole society on top of the decimation that's so interesting. Like in every location they go to, whether it's Brotherhood of Steel or the Vaults or New Vegas, everything looks phenomenal. CG wise, costume wise, set design wise. It's a great looking show.
Yeah. They've nailed it. Every single thing. And the death claws look great.
Oh, the death claws are pop. Yeah,
I think they look popping.
I think they look just normal.
You're just like, looks as good as everything else.
It looks like a monster.
Yeah.
It looks like a thing with horns to me. I think that looks as good as the Vegas Strip or Walton Goggins' lack of nose.
Fair. It's still impressive how he looks every time.
They show a side shot and like they filled in where the nose is missing. It's probably not that hard.
It's probably not.
But I'm always impressed.
The artistry they do it. They're doing the small things right.
Yeah, they do every small thing right. I'm trying to think of just like my favorite things like to look at. I really like. I mean, the vaults didn't change much, but I just love the vault like flight suits or work suits or whatever you're wearing inside the vault. Jumpsuits. Yeah. The jumpsuits. I love all the look of everything in the vaults, the way that it's like you can tell that they're like rationed, but they still do have a lot of supplies. It's very interesting to me. And I think that's my favorite. But New Vegas looks really good.
Yeah. New Vegas looks really good. It's all just kind of impeccable.
Mr. House's stuff.
Yes. And that was a highlight of me for this season for me as well. Justin Theroux as Robert House is doing something special. Like chewing the scenery in he gets this. He gets the retro futurism that is Fallout, where like he's still talking with that transatlantic accent, where it's just like, why you, sir? Don't you realize that every dollar spent is a vote cast? Like he says everything like Cary Grant doing a commercial, and it is just something special of his embodiment, his voice, all of it.
It is fun. It is exactly the tone I really want in this, and his scenes with Walton Goggins are so good because Walton Goggins is such a good actor. In many ways, he's doing serious here, but he can do comedy so well. But like him kind of just being like, I'm trying to save my family, while he's like, but have you voted? What have you considered there's a conspiracy? And it's just like a really fun back and forth where I'm like, I don't want you guys to leave a scene together.
Yeah.
Please stay in the same shot.
And yet that scene with Goggins is really incredible. That one in his penthouse suite to be like, what if I'm not the house? Like which is such a cool perspective. It's something that like we've seen versions of in different comic books and different kind of heroic properties that we cover on this podcast of like the Grand Master, the master, the one so smart that they actually have analyzed what they know whether or not you're going to drop your pencil in 300 years. They're the smartest people in the world. And one of those characters who is very smart and actually has like within 98% accurately predicted everything and is now kind of having a freak out to be like, I think actually I'm one of the players. I'm not the house. What does that mean? And him like actually having to reconcile with the fact that he's not the top mind or the top dog and the most control. It's a really interesting portrayal of this character that he's come up with.
It is a fun turnaround of like, you think I'm the one who's going to drop the bombs and I'm the one trying to stop it. And that sounds very basic, but it is presented in a very interesting way of like, no, I've also looked at all of the projections and it would seem like I'm the one who's going to drop the bombs, but I promise it's not me and I need you to help me figure out who it's going to be. And it's not a storyline I'm interested in, but just like writing wise and acting wise, it is very well done, and I believe that it does change Walton Goggins' whole like character's arc of like what I'm trying to achieve and who I believe now, and like do I give this piece of technology away to the president, and like why it changes so much of how he acts.
Yeah.
So it does sell me.
Yeah. It does.
I buy in.
The performances sell it. Yeah, Justin Theroux's really made some like. You believe he's figuring it out as he goes along, and Goggins is also doing a really good job of like, what the fuck, of him trying to run on a moving treadmill. Like he's really trying to kind of keep up with like way too much in this world. It's very interesting.
It is interesting. I will say for me, the more interesting thing in this whole show, a very interesting storyline to me that made me question my own morals, is I really like this like Kyle MacLachlan, Hank McCoy, Lucy's dad's storyline of mind controlling people to make them less aggressive.
Right.
Because honestly, for about half an episode, I was like, we should probably let him. Like a really good villain plot is not a plot that's so over the top that you're like, you're insane. It's a plot where you're like, fuck, he's got a point.
He's got something.
Like the fact that Lucy even has to do it to make those two guys stop killing each other. Like, he really does. It is a world so destroyed that maybe we do actually need this. Like, it's a really great, like, villain was right kind of argument that's been presented here of like, in pretty much any other world, I would be like, no, you can't take people's free will away. This is kind of the plot of like Serenity, the movie, or like, you know, you can't change people. That's wrong. But in a completely destroyed world of people who are just fighting and killing each other 100% of the time, it's like, maybe it's fine though. It seems better down here.
I agree. It is complicated.
It's so complicated.
Now, you know, like there are problems there to be like, you started developing it before the world fell into this, and also you caused the world to fall into this, so that it's easier to take control of everyone. To be like, yes, like if I was teleported back to caveman times, are they better off listening to me or all going around with a big stick hitting each other?
And we eventually evolve.
They would be better off listening to me, but if I only went back in time because people today wouldn't listen to my authoritarian control, and I needed a bunch of people who would listen to my authoritarian control, then yeah, it's all, the whole system breaks, right? But then it's that utilitarian morality as well, to be like, is this morally acceptable because of its function and purpose right now. So it's some interesting moral questions that they ask.
It does. And, end of the day, we can't just mind control people, especially because it completely wipes you out. And I don't think you can, I think they were pretty clear that, like, if you take it out, you don't recover. Like, your memories don't come back. I'm like,
I think you just die.
Oh, you think you die if you take it out?
They were a little unclear about some of the lore of the chip.
Yeah, they were. But, like, it would be much more... kind of like you could root for it a little bit more if when you took it out you were just back to normal. Yeah. Like if it was reversible, it's like, well, I guess we could use it for like a day. We could get everyone real calm down, then we take them out or something.
For like
But yeah, like obviously you can't actually support it at the end of the day. The heroes can't be like mind control's fine, but it's a really great villain plot that I was like, oh, I don't know if this is necessarily like too evil. I see why Lucy's like, fuck, is this too evil?
Is this too now that we're here? Is it too evil?
In terms, because especially I think that was impressive for me as someone who like didn't care about most of the plots that were going on about like who did what and what's evil. And I'm like, I don't care about the Enclave. The world's destroyed. I don't care what phase 2 is for the most part. But I was like, oh, this is interesting morally. I am invested in this.
Right.
As just a like thought problem.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. It is one of the more interesting ones. I think it does a good job of all of them are the same plot, but this has the most interesting pieces involved in it. I mean, like literally top to bottom, whether it is like the Brotherhood of Steel or whether it is the New California Republic versus I forget like the Legion, yeah, like the Roman Empire or whatever. It's all of them being like, yes, but if the world just accepted my control, we would all be doing just fine. And it's that top to bottom from the past to the and from the past to the future. It is a bunch of individual factions who are like, hey, if everyone just agreed that my faction was in charge, we'd all be fine. And they're all right to a certain extent, but they're all inventing authoritarianism. They all think they just created, like, they're like, I've got this great new idea. What if everyone just followed exactly what I say all of the time? And then no one would be arguing anymore. To be like, yes, if everyone agrees unilaterally to one authoritarian leader, there would be no arguing, but that doesn't exist, and thinking that is a good solution is the problem and how we get here. But it's everyone pointing the finger at one another. It's
just listen to me. No, you just listen to me.
It's the West Coast Brotherhood of Steel being like, well, I can't trust those East Coast assholes with unlimited power because they think that they're in charge. Well, I should be in charge because if I was in charge, I'd be in charge, and then it would all be fine. And they wouldn't even be mad that I was in charge. And so it's everyone saying the exact same thing, top to bottom. Yeah. But I agree. The Henry McLean, by the way, not McCoy, or Hank McLean.
Oh, I said Beast.
Yeah, you said
Beast. I gave him Beast's name. He's also a scientist.
Yeah. There's similarity,
but like not the right name.
But yeah, he has the most interesting pieces with the chip and with the company and with everything.
And also like just like presenting it to Lucy in this way, and like So
yeah.
I thought that was very interesting.
And so I don't fully understand. I want to talk about the mind control trip for a second. I don't fully understand what any of these MacGuffin buttons were. Because it's like, well, we've got to make it smaller. And we make it smaller, then it is smaller. I'm like, okay, I'm following kind of what you're getting at, Hank. And Hank's like, if it's small enough, then you won't be able to notice when someone's wearing it. And I figured out how to make it that small. And it's like, okay, I get that idea. Now you can't pinpoint who's been mind controlled. And he's like, and they're already all out there, all over the world. And I'm like, but didn't you only just make it smaller? He's like, and the Enclave did that even before. I'm like, but that's the opposite of what your whole plot story has been. And then he's like, I got the dial, and when I turn it up higher, people forget more. Like, okay, you turn up the dial higher and you forget more. And the dial also has a red button, which is never explained. And then Lucy has the button and dial, and then he takes out a backup button and dial and presses the button, and then he forgets everything that's ever existed. And I'm like, okay, that's what the button does. For everyone? Is that room behind you now filled with a bunch of people who are literally babies?
Oh, I didn't think it turned him into a literal baby. I thought it just turned on his. I thought the button turns them on, and his hadn't been on.
The button turns him on, and his hadn't been on, so he had a button for just himself,
Yeah.
but she also had the button for just himself.
No,
He had a backup button.
I thought her button was for all the people outside in the world. Yeah, it's not clear.
It's not clear. Okay.
I think we've
maybe you're right. Maybe she had the button for the world and he had a button for him.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay.
I thought his button was like a cyanide tooth, like a self-destruct.
I've got a secret me button.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sure.
Sure.
And the button activated him. But shouldn't she still be able to adjust the dial to change how much he does or doesn't remember, which is how he explained it?
Yeah, he did explain it that way, and that doesn't make sense to me. Memory doesn't make sense to me as a thing. Like, you would think the dial would be like aggression.
Yeah, that could make sense.
But he said it was memory.
He said it was memory, and clearly he remembered nothing, so couldn't you turn his dial down if you wanted him back? Like, you can't remove the chip, but you could turn the dial down, I think.
No, I think your memories are gone, is what he said.
Oh.
Because that's how he explained it to John Daly. He was like, as soon as I put this in, your memories are going to be gone. He was like, yes, please, don't want them.
Okay. Interesting. All right. But then he explained the dial as memory thing. And I thought when he hit the button, he was activating everyone in the world who had a chip.
Oh, I thought it was a kill switch.
Yeah, wasn't clear.
Wasn't clear.
But again, they were more focused on setting up future seasons at that point.
We'll find out later.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk a little bit then about that why kind of it fizzles out towards the end of the show. There was a lot that I liked at the beginning. It's like I liked the pool fight. I liked the journey that Lucy and the Ghoul is going on. I loved Kumail and the Brotherhood and that infighting. And we're having a parlay with the Commonwealth, and that's breaking out into a fight. And Max meeting up with Johnny Pemberton again, and then coming back and having a farce of having to pretend. That was kind of funny for like actual laughable moments. That was all good. I even kind of liked the fighting the Death Claws as Max and standing up for something, and I thought that was all pretty interesting. But yeah, these last few episodes were just kind of like, what if Ron Perlman was a super mutant and there was a secret super mutant group? Is that interesting? Do you want to see that in the future? That's kind of a reference to some comic book stuff, to some video game stuff. Is that cool? What about the Enclave? We'll bring them up a bit. If you remember, they were around a little bit in season 1, and like that's a video game thing. Would you guys stick around for that? What if Stephanie is Hank's wife? Is that interesting? Would you? It just really felt like a lot of like, is this interesting? Kind of gestures. And not a lot of like, let's wrap up this emotional journey.
Yeah, I would say there's two big problems as the season goes out in the last 2 episodes. It's everything you just said about like, we're introducing a lot of things and not wrapping up anything. And just as a season ender, there wasn't like a big climactic there kind of was a physical moment, which I would say maybe fighting the Death Claws, but that just ends so abruptly, what Max is doing. And it really feels like last season was like this big battle, which is how we ended, because like 2 different factions wanted her dad, and they all ended up in this big fight. It was this
They wanted the dad, or they wanted the cold fusion, and everything was in the same place.
Everyone was all the characters in the same place. They were all fighting. There was like battles around every corner, and you're all physically trying to do something difficult. And in this one, Max is trying to do something difficult, and then the Ghoul just walks around with Justin Theroux on his wrist, opening everything for him, and Lucy gets saved by the Ghoul, and her dad have a lot of talks, and it's just not stakes interesting. It's not like, oh, the Ghoul had to fight his way into the vaults, or Lucy had to fight through all the people that she unbrainwashed and they went violent again, or anything. Like the Legion doesn't even show up.
Yeah.
So it's really just Max fighting the Death Claws, which ends early. Like, there's like 20 minutes left in the episode when the Death Claws are defeated by the New California Republic.
Yeah.
So that's not like a climax.
Yeah.
So I would say, yeah, they don't wrap anything up, and they also didn't bring anything like physically stakes-wise to a head.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Which was disappointing. Because, yeah, when like we got to the end, I was like, the Ghoul didn't fight anyone, and he's the Ghoul.
He's the cool one.
He's the cool fight guy, and he and it was a nice emotional gut punch that the cryo chambers were empty, and he kind of knows where to go next. He's got the cleanest storyline of like, I'm just looking for my family.
I agree.
But like it wasn't exciting.
It wasn't exciting.
Justin Theroux just opened every door you needed to get through.
Yeah, Justin Theroux just kind of opened every door, and Kyle MacLachlan, as wonderful as he is,
he's so good.
absolutely wonderful. The man can read a phone book and it's interesting, so he makes it interesting. But it is just his character kind of killing time about some stuff that's already been done. Of him being like, there's people out there with this, and I'm like, okay, cool. And so like, what are we doing here in this scene?
There's nothing for Lucy to stop.
And performatively, he's making it as interesting as it can be because he's Kyle MacLachlan. And he's a treasure, and as well, Ella Purnell is doing a wonderful job in making it interesting. But it's still just kind of like, all right.
Oh, I guess we're done that.
I guess we didn't need to do it. About that. Huh.
Yeah, it really does fizzle.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I feel like I've said everything I need to say about Fallout. You feeling good?
I feel pretty good. 2 quick things, which I think we mentioned a little bit. Not enough Kumail. Not enough.
There never is.
There never is, but really, really not enough. I thought he was going to become a semi-main, and then he died in the first episode he was introduced in. We're in the spoiler-filled section. We could say that.
Yeah.
That was really, really upsetting. Not in a way like him, like, oh, no, that was so violent, but in a way like, no, more Kumail. And not enough dog. So the 2 things I wanted most, Kumail and dog.
Kumail and dog.
Not enough dog, not enough Kumail.
Yeah.
I want them for different reasons.
Yeah.
But 2 good boys.
Yeah. We're tired of saying not enough Kumail.
We're sick of it.
We're sick of it. It'd be like here, Eternals, Obi-Wan, and I feel like there's been other projects where we're just like, I'm tired of casting directors being like, Kumail's a good support character. I'm like, no, Kumail's a good all the time character is what Kumail is.
I feel like he voiced an alien in that new Men in Black.
He
and
did
it was
voice
the only
it was
good
also
part
the
of the
only
movie.
good part of the Men in Black International.
Yeah. So always more Kumail is the answer.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're a producer or casting director and your thought is Kumail would make a good support character, you actually need to start looking at firing one of your leads and putting Kumail in that slot.
You need to rewrite whatever you're working on or give it to Kumail.
Yes, back to the storyboards.
So those are my 2 final thoughts.
I'm with you. Well, let's go in with a close. Let's ask the final question of what would you change? So now that we have discussed everything about this, what would you change if you could change anything? Before we do ask the final question, we will remind you, as we do every week, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podcast Addict, YouTube. You can leave a like and a comment. It's a very nice thing to do. It's a free thing to do. And the reason we ask you to do it is because A, it's very nice to hear from you, and we try to reply to as many comments as we can. And B, it helps us move up the rankings in the algorithm. It makes it more likely we're recommended to potential new listeners. And it's how we don't have a marketing or advertising budget, so this is how we find new people to check out the podcast, or how we get recommended to new people is listeners like you leaving comments.
Listeners like you make us look cool, and we appreciate that. And we would love to look cool to people who don't know who we are. And they're like, whoa, look at all these people commenting on their stuff. They must be so cool.
Must be nice. So drop that little like or a comment. And if you do want to support the show monetarily, you can do that over on our Patreon page, which is a monthly subscription service. Subscribe at whatever is in your budget. You can do as little as $1 a month. Those add up and warm our heart, and also are the main reason that we're able to do this full time as our job. And you get our webcomic a day early if you do that. At the $3 level, you will get these episodes early and ad free. So if you do not like listening to those auto inserted ads, and I know many of you don't, just pay $3 and you don't have to. It's as simple as that. $3, it goes right to the creators that you like, and then you don't have to listen to advertisements. And then at the $10 level, also at the $3 level, I think I mentioned, but they're early as well, on top of being ad free.
You could have listened to this on Thursday, guys.
So that'd be sweet. And at the $10 level, you'll get a bonus episode of this podcast every single month. This month we did Candyman.
We can only say it twice. We can't say it again.
So we're done there. Check out that episode over on our Patreon page. That's up and available right now. And if you want any individual episode, you can also buy individual of those bonuses for $5 as well.
Yeah.
So check it all out.
There's so much good stuff on our Patreon. We put a lot in there, and you'd get a lot back, but only if it's in the budget. But we appreciate all of our patrons so much.
So check out the options over at patreon.com/fromsuperheroes. That is patreon.com/fromsuperheroes. And now let's go in for the close. Let's ask the final question. Diana, now that we have discussed everything, what would you change about this if you could change anything?
My biggest changes are I'm going to change the tone. I do want more comedy. I think this was the biggest problem for me. It's kind of a dramedy is what it says it is, but I really didn't laugh, especially compared to the first season. So I'm like, I know you have a lot of comedy potential in this world, and it felt like it was all potential. So I do want a tonal shift to more comedy. It doesn't mean you have to completely wipe the serious stuff. It usually makes the serious stuff feel more dramatic in comparison when it happens. So I do want a tonal shift to more comedy, let it be funnier. And then I do want less conspiracies, less flashbacks. I don't care about conspiracies. I care about the people who are actually here that I care about. I think my biggest specific change would be I was very disappointed the people of New Vegas did not actually help Max. Because that was a big moment of community that I needed that was going to make this world kind of feel salvageable. The New California Republic seems really cool, or Democracy, Republic, whatever they are.
They call themselves a republic.
Oh, they call themselves a republic? Cool. It actually seems cool, and they have the right ideas for stuff. So there is a sense of civilization that's cool and exists, but I did really want that sense of these people have rallied behind Max, and they actually never do. So that was very missing, and I think that could have been the big climactic moment of the season that made you feel a lot and made you feel good about how far the characters have gone and what we've earned through being good people. So definitely that's a big change. And then what else did I write down? Oh yeah, and I was just it doesn't necessarily happen because I think if the people of the city help, it's quite a bit more, but I wouldn't mind if the final battle actually was, instead of the death clocks, it was the Legion arriving. It's more stakes. There's more happening. There's more actual people to fight instead of what are these creatures called?
Death Claw.
Death Claw. Sorry, thank you. The Death Claws. Yeah, they're very scary, but it's they could kill the humans so easily that I also kind of understood why they didn't go out there, but they really didn't even try to help Max. So those are my big changes. Funnier. Those people help Max out. Because that would have made me feel really nice, yeah. And just less conspiracy stuff and the flashbacks. I don't care. Andrew, what'd you change?
I can be with you on most of that. I liked the conspiracy stuff.
I know you do. We have very different things we like in this show.
Yeah, but I'm with you on funnier and more of a. They were very close to doing a full-on Spider-Man moment. Of he's just a kid. You mess with one of us, you mess with all of us.
Where was New York?
Where was New? If this was New York, if this was New York, that would have happened. But
you had guns.
Yeah, you had guns can aim from far away. But I'm with you. So uniting together in comedy, on those 2 points that I can get on board with you as well. Mine, this might be a controversial one. I would say it is a controversial one because he is a legend of an actor, but Kyle MacLachlan did not need to be in this season at all. Emotionally, Lucy's story last season was, can I track down and confront whether or not my father is a bad person? And then this season is, can I track down and confront whether my father is a bad person? And she does the exact same plot as season 1. And when she gets there, it's just kind of fiddling around. It's just hey, are you a bad person? And he's like, yeah, I don't know. It's all pretty...
Kinda?
There's certainly a whole universe. One thing is for sure is that when you look around, this is Fallout. And it's just, there's not really any true conflict or any reason. It's a complete repetition of what her character arc was last season. So I'm not interested in it. I think that he should have just died at the end of last season. And as much as I love to see Kyle MacLachlan in things, his character doesn't have any real purpose here. He's farting around with an experiment that doesn't really go anywhere or doesn't have any plot impact or real meaning or world consequences or a fight or a strong conflict. It ends in the exact same conversation that last season ended in. So it's done. It's played. I don't think he should be here. I think we should see Lucy as a free person helping the ghoul with some stuff as he helped her last season of her being let's find your kid because I'm a good person. I don't need to trick you into help. You don't need to trick me into helping you the way I had to bribe and pay and force you to help me. To be have her just be a good person who's I told you I'd help you find your kid. I'm going to because I'm a good person. and then I'll figure out what I'm going to do next. And she's still doing the exact same plot of this season of, dealing with the people of the wasteland, dealing with the ghouls' righteousness and bullshit. And she's going through all of the same beats and the same thing of a naive character following the most confident leader who happens to be around at any given time. So I think there needs to be no Hank in this season.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you're definitely right about how it doesn't give her anywhere to go, because it is just repeats of the same beats. I think there's kind of maybe a way to have him a little bit, though. I like the idea that she is just a good person and she would want to help the ghoul. Like, no matter what, she'd be like, I'm going to help you find your family. That's very Lucy. That's interesting enough on its own sometimes. I wouldn't mind if maybe, we flashback and he had died and he had also already set a plan in motion that she needed to stop, because she's like, I have to stop my dad's evil plan. She would take responsibility for that.
Yeah, I get that.
Or erase the evils of my dad from the world or whatever. He doesn't necessarily need to have all this screen time, and he could even be dead, but he could have set this in motion the second he got out of the vault.
Interesting. Okay, I like that. Yeah, he could have...
Some other bomb in some other nice community, like another Shady Sands or something.
Yeah, or even a connection to Robert House to be like, I was trying to get this cold fusion to send it to Robert House. Could have been the end of last season. And the ghoul is like, oh, shit, I know Robert House.
I can bring it to him.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And she can still have this crisis of faith at that Vault Tech Robert House building, where Robert House has been mind controlling people, and he is now a mind in a computer with a bunch of slaves that are kind of doing his bidding or whatever. And she can have this same moral conflict with Robert House, where she's uncertain. And then that does a really good job then of continuing that problem her character always faces of, when you are a naive good person, how much can someone near you sell you on their beliefs? And Robert House is good at selling you on. So if that final conversation that she has with her father about whether or not this is moral is with Robert House, I actually think that's way more interesting for her character. It's a new presentation of the problem that she keeps bumping into.
And he would be very charming about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the ghoul, and ghoul would be like, I know this guy. And that would also really affect her. Ghoul says he's cool. That would be interesting.
That's where I'm at.
Wow.
Tom McLaughlin, a legend. I love him, and I love to see him, but I don't know if this character makes sense for still being here.
You're the first man in history who's fired Kyle MacLachlan.
That's a rough one.
Rough. Bold.
Well, that does it for this week on the podcast. That is it for us talking about season 2 of Fallout. Next week on the podcast, we'll be back and we'll be talking about Send Help.
Ooh, Sam Raimi's Send Help.
New Sam Raimi project. We'll be talking about that next week on the pod. In the meantime, if you want to get a hold of us, you can find me most places at Ivimey, Ivimey.
You can find me at Words of Diana.
And you can find both of us most places at From Superheroes, and check out everything we create over at FromSuperheroes.com. And we'll talk to y'all next week.
Bye.